So first things first, I want to say I hope everyone had a great 2025. Today I'm going to be breaking down my business and how we generated three-quarters of $1 million for our clients. And I'm going to explain how we built this, what we've done, and really just give you an insight to what happens behind the scenes. But before we dive into everything, I want to appreciate you guys for being here. And I want to share a quote with you that helped me a lot in 2025. And I believe it will help a lot of people going into 2026. So the quote says, waste no more time arguing about what a good man should be, just be one. Now, you can interpret that in many different ways, but to me, what that meant was when I was reading through at the time, I felt that I needed to just understand what it meant to be good, to be on the straight path, a narrower path, be honest, be someone that people can look up to. That was my mindset. Just be a good man. Don't argue about it. Just be one. And I think that really helped me become a businessman that can not only, do well for my clients, but do well for my team and be someone that people want to work with. So what kind of business do we run? It's a B2B service agency. We handle sales for online fitness coaches so they can focus on coaching. We have branched out to a different niche this year or end of last year, but today I'm going to focus on primarily fitness because that's where the majority of our revenue came from. So you pick a niche, right? Online fitness coaches doing 5K plus per month, for example. Then you provide a done for you sales team plus systems, which is the service. Then a model, which is how you get paid, retainer plus performance. That's exactly how we did it. We didn't invent this new strategy. We didn't figure out the new way to start making money online. We just found people with a painful problem, coaches who hate selling or don't want to do it themselves or don't have the time, and built a productized service around it. It's as simple as that, right? It's a B2B service agency, but our calls and the how we handle things is mainly on B2C on the sales side, but it's B2B to get clients, right? So for us, we've learned two different styles of selling. I come from a background of B2C, so learning B2B this year was fun and we're still learning and we're still growing in that regard. But yeah, that was the year I closed, the most B2B deals ever in my life and for our agency. So it's a very simple business model. You pick a niche, you build a service, and you charge what you're worth. As simple as that. Growth isn't linear, right? This is the journey. Realistically, 12 months of building a business is not going to be linear, right? It's going to be ups and downs. Like you can see the 3 months in, 5 months in, they were brutal, right? Revenue kind of flatlined whilst we were figuring out exactly how we can grow and how we can build. And we almost quit twice, right? There was points where we're having conversations about how can we scale? How can we improve? How can we take it to the next level? It's not like we were gonna quit making money online and quit this business, but it's just maybe we were thinking about quitting this way of making money. But realistically, it's all about sticking with things that actually have potential because we had something that was working. We were delivering, but we just needed the push. We needed something that could take us to the next level. And what we were doing was kind of just keeping us at the same spot. Right. So then month seven came and things changed because we systemized the offer, hired the right people, and suddenly growth became more predictable instead of random. Right. We really had started to see more traction coming in from referrals, just from our current clients. We were able to maximize more, produce more from what we had, and we're gaining more because of the not quitting, not giving up, but pushing through and really just evaluating, looking at our business and figuring out what we needed to do to keep on improving and to stay solvent, to innovate. And it worked for us. And Q4 was our biggest quarter yet, and we landed our biggest client ever. That is what we like to call whale, and we crushed it. We proved to ourselves we can do it at the biggest scale, and yeah, we had our first 100K month with the client. Right, that was huge for us, and that came in Q4. Right, we had a few successes throughout the year with like 40, 50K, but we still hadn't hit that 100K month, and that came right at the end of the year. So growth isn't linear and it can come all the way at the end or it can happen at the start. It's just important to be locked in and focused throughout and always looking at how you can improve. And it showed us a lot this year in just learning. one thing I want to take away again in Q4 and what people need to scale, what we use to scale, is the gun to the head mentality. Whereas that you can't do anything about this tomorrow. You only have today. You got a gun to your head. If you don't do it, they're gonna shoot you. That mentality, that fight to survive will produce results that push you to scale. So the lesson I learned, I want you guys to learn, business owners, people that are trying to build something. Revenue looks good on paper, right? As you can see, we did 778,000 in dollars in revenue for our client. Revenue is vanity, profit is sanity, and cash flow is reality, right? So the mistake, chasing revenue over profit. I was at one point so focused on growing the top line that I didn't pay close enough attention to what was actually staying in the business. Right? More clients doesn't always mean more profit. There's definitely some clients that we took on last year that we didn't make any money off. Like maybe we got testimonial out of it, which is beneficial in the long run, but at the end of the day, we were losing money running that business or hiring that client. And that doesn't make sense. But because we're chasing that revenue number and that overall profit, like or chasing the revenue, like all the client numbers that we have, you have this many clients, you can get lost in chasing that lifestyle as opposed to really having the track of your profit per client. And that's the lesson I learned. Not all clients are created equal. Like some are highly profitable, others barely break even, and you just have to understand that. And I didn't have the full understanding on this until month eight, and now it's the first thing I check, right? Working with this client, is it truly profitable for us as a business, right? It's a big shift that I've had in my mindset because it's so important to just know that and have that clarity. So year three isn't about just growing the revenue at all costs. It's about growing revenue and keeping a healthy margin. Every decision now goes through a profitability filter, and we do this in like a weekly money review. So now I'll review the cash in, cash out, profit margins every single week. No more surprises. No more where did the money go. We just know exactly what happens. That's been a big, big improvement for me as a business owner because I'm really starting to value profit as opposed to revenue, which has been a large part of my mindset from year one and year two. Breaking down the expenses, understanding where the money goes is the first step in keeping more of it. That's what I've been learning, like especially since after March, especially in Q4. Majority of our expenses goes to the team and contractors, the sales team, closers, sales, and just the support that we have. This is a people business, and without people, we can't scale. We have 20% on software like the CRMs, automations, communication tools, just SaaS subscriptions like Slack, everything like that. Then we also have marketing, acquisition, content creation, ads, maybe where we hired out somewhere for to film the campaigns, everything like that. And operations and admin, accounting, legal, all of that stuff. So as you can see, the breakdown is pretty standard for most service-based businesses that you're going to have a high concentrated amount of your expenses on team and contractors because it's a business that runs with on people, right? It's just the only way. Year two was for building, right? And another quote that I want to share is don't optimize for profit when you're building, optimize for learning and systems, right? So in year two, the lesson I took away is that, right, we can be more profitable and we can focus on profit. However, I want to make sure you guys are aware that during year two, we learned so much, like learning about what clients are good to have and what clients aren't good to have, learning how to build the systems, how to handle larger clients, how to handle big clients at scale. Like we learned a lot and built systems that are going to help us for the rest of our journey, right? So not prioritizing profit at this stage of the business, year one and year two, it made sense because we were really learning, really getting our foot in the door and building something that we were going to be able to believe in, not only believe in, but build something that can stand the test of time. And we believe we've done that now. Now that we've got that foundation going into year three, we now can look at an approach where I could have taken more profit by doing everything myself. Instead, I hired, built SOPs, created systems, and that investment means year three scales without me grinding harder. We can really take a step back, but still grow, even more than we grew in 2025. So systems beat hustle. The things that actually move the needle weren't tactics, they were systems, right? So documenting everything, every process has an SOP. New team members can onboard in days, not weeks. Built repeatable sales processes, so scripts, objection handling frameworks, and cool flows that anyone can follow. Automated the boring stuff like lead routing, follow-up, CRM updates, all automated so humans do human work. And we tracked everything, right? Dashboards for conversion rates, revenue, team performance, data-driven decisions helped us a lot in 2025. So what I do differently, because hindsight's 2020, here's what I'd change. So what I did was hired too fast before systems were ready, took on clients who weren't ready to scale, underpriced early to get clients, tried to do too many things at once. That was us doing marketing when we just were told we were going to be doing sales. Just helping out on the back end fulfillment when we're just supposed to be helping on closing clients. Getting clients that were we could definitely needed to charge more, but we were like, we'll do it for less because we want to have more clients. Taking clients that actually aren't ready for the service that we have. There's so many lessons that we learned. So what I do now is build systems first, then hire to fill them. Qualify harder, say no to bad fits. Price on value from day one. We know what we can provide. We've done it countless of times now. Got people to five figures now, even six figures this year. So we know we can do it in a month, right? That's the five figures in a month, six figures in a month, and we can do it. And that's what people want in this industry. They want to be able to earn those types of numbers, and we've done it at this point 20 times now for people. So it's no longer just a let's see if it works. This is a proven system. So we want to focus on one thing until it's dialed, which is now really pushing and scaling this to the masses because we have everything we need now to really help everyone. And as you saw at the start of the video, right, we generated 778,000 for our clients. So the real measure of a service business. So the real measure of a service business isn't your revenue. It's the results you generate for clients. Because the results you generate for the clients are ultimately going to be how you grow your business. That's what's going to get spread the word of mouth. That's what's going to get the referrals. That's what's going to want to make people work with you because you make your people money. So our top client, we worked with them for 3 months in Q4 and we did 197,000 in revenue, 3 months. So we had a really, really solid month with these guys. And our best month was 110K. And that was in the second month we were running the business. And so we had it's not linear. Like we said, growth is not linear. We had like a start here and we went up and we kind of dipped back down. And that was the end of Q4. And it's going into 2026, we expect to really push that again. But the main lesson is Q4, we got our way, right? Because you work hard. If you don't quit, eventually you'll get the gifts that you've been focused and that you've been working so hard for. If we got this client at the start of the year, we might have not been ready. Getting it at the end in Q4, we were ready for that client. Our average client, if you break down the 12 clients, is 65,000. So our revenue multiple is 5.7x. For every dollar we generated, 5.7 for our clients. So when you generate real results, referrals come naturally. Now 40% of our new clients came from word of mouth, which is a large amount, and it just goes to show the results that we got for our guys were and girls were what pushed us going into the year. So how you can build a 100K plus agency, right? Because as you saw, the revenue generated for our clients. If you're in this space, you know how much a growth operator can roughly get for a client. So you can do the numbers and work out how much relatively our agency did, right? It's not rocket science. We did six figures. But I want you to understand we did six figures in revenue. This is not profit in my pocket. It's not life-changing money yet, but it's just proof that this business model works. So for guys out there that want to make a business and you want to start earning money online, this is something that you can do given you have the right skills and team around you. But number one is you find pain, a real problem that people want to solve, that they're paid to solve. Two, you productize it, package it into a repeatable service. Three, you prove you can do it. You get 3 to 5 case studies at any cost, right? If you have to do it for free, do it for free. We worked with a client that didn't, our first ever client didn't pay us a startup fee. We just worked with them because they were our friend and we helped them and we just had mutual beneficial partnership essentially. And you can do that 3 to 5 times to get a case study because without that first person we hired, he got us a referral. So without him doing it for free, we'd never have got that second person and the third, we never would have built this business. So doing things for free at the start of your journey is not bad at all. And you systemize. Eventually, once you have your clients and you have things rolling, this, the way you do things is going to be predictable because you're just going to do it again and again for different people. So you can build systems, you can build SOPs, standard operating procedures, and hire people to help you do things you don't need to do anymore because you're focused on scaling and you can kind of take a step back, right? But it all starts with finding a problem that people want to solve, that will pay to solve. And then when I say repeatable service, it's just something like if you have a client that's in like an online coaching client and you're helping them build their business, you can repeat that for multiple people. Right, it's just going to be the same system that you implement into new businesses. So that's how you productize and you build something that can just be used continuously. So most people try to do the systemized before they've proven that the model works. So you need to get results first, and you document second, and hire third. So key takeaways, when you're building your business, number one, revenue equals profit is not the same. That's not how it works, especially when scaling. Expect 5 to 15% margins while you're building. It's an investment, not a failure, right? So just remember the money that you have in your account when you're starting your business. You have to think of it as money that you don't touch. It's money that you're using to grow and reinvest in your business. You can expect 5 to 15% margins, but you just have to remember when you're starting, it's not about profit. It's about proving you can build something that can work. That's what we did. We didn't focus on the money, we focused on learning, focused on building a system, focused on building something that we actually respect. And then once you get something that actually works, you actually help people, then the money will start to come in. Then you can start to focus on profit. But you need to help people first. You need to build something that can actually stand the test of time. Then clients, results, focus obsessively on outcomes, case studies and referrals, everything like that. But just they will follow as long as you provide the results for the people that you're working with. Systems create freedom, not more hours. So document everything, automate when you can, hire for what you can't. Say no to bad fits, disqualified clients. One wrong client costs more in time and energy than the revenue is worth. That is a fact. And year three is where it pays off. The systems you build while scaling compound, and the real profit happens when you get to this stage. So that's what we're focusing at this point. You have the clarity, we have the numbers, you have everything to prove that we can just really push to being profitable as hell in 2026. So that's year three for us. That's the goal. Scale mode. The foundation is built. Now it's about growing the profitability without grinding harder. 2x target for the rev, 20% margin goal, more client wins. So follow the journey. You can reach out to me on YouTube, Instagram, wherever, but stay in touch with me because I like connecting with people in the space. And if you're at this part of the video, I appreciate you. So like this video, comment if you found any value, and yeah, I appreciate you guys. I hope you had a good 2025, and let's have a great fucking 2026.